I really wanted to do a breakdown on Thorfinn because I love him as a character, but I soon realized he doesn't have swag like Gojo, muscles like Baki, or amazing leadership skills like Erwin. But what he does have is respect.
You know how it is in Japan, they're all about the respect.
Gaining respect in 1013 AD looked a lot different than it does today, whereas now we could mention things like expansive body language or subtle physical gestures like putting your hand on someone's shoulder as you talk to them. Back then it was more like, you need to slaughter 20 people on the battlefield, or basically I think you're a little baby back bitch. So today we're going to talk about how Thorfinn as a young child was able to gain respect from full-grown men in a world where the top warriors are pretty much bloodthirsty versions of Captain America. But also I'm going to tell you how you can use these tactics in your life just in case, you're not an 11th century child warrior. Because unlike power, status is subjective and changes depending on the era and what the community values. But before we get into it, just a heads up, this will include some minor spoilers from the manga, but I promise I won't give too much away. I ain't no snitch. The first thing to note is he does not assume his role. If you look at the people around you, or even take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, you'll notice that nearly every person you meet is trying to fit some sort of role. And you probably are too. The political role, the tough guy role, the frat role, the nice guy role, the Hawaiian role. Most people are trying to fit the role that they were assigned, but it's the people that don't assume their assigned role that stand out the most. A good example of this is Elon Musk, who is the CEO of 2 major companies, but yet makes 69 and 420 jokes on Twitter like he's an edgy teenager. But he has been undoubtedly the most popular billionaire for the past 5 years, and even before he cracked the top 20 richest billionaires list. But back to Thorfinn. He doesn't assume the role of a young boy. Maybe it's because of the emotional trauma of his dad getting killed right in front of him, but Thorfinn immediately took on the demeanor of a grown man. You could incorporate this into your own life by choosing to abandon the role you were assigned. For instance, if you're a young man starting a new job, naturally you're going to want to assume the role of the green rookie who's not very competent. But instead, if you assume the role of the competent seasoned veteran, subconsciously your managers will take notice and it will put you in a better position for promotions, bonuses, etc. Then maybe you can get a car and move out of your mom's basement, you bum. Sorry, that was mean. I'm sure you have a lot of cars and money and stuff. The truth is, you can take on any role you want. So next time you're around high status people, try to adopt the role of an equally high status person in the way that you stand, speak, and act. And these people will likely accept you as one of them and not disregard you as someone not on their level. After his dad's death, nothing is given to Thorfinn. He has to earn everything, even the chance to get his ass whooped by 𝚑𝚏𝚏 again and again and again. That's the next thing Thorfinn does. He pays his dues. The interesting thing about Thorfinn is that his end goal isn't even to gain respect. All he really wants to do is kill the guy that killed his dad. Easy, right? Not exactly. 𝚑𝚏𝚏 makes him earn the right to even give him the chance of fighting him. And then after getting thrown around like a wet rag in a tornado by 𝚑𝚏𝚏, he makes him earn the chance again by beating Thorkel in a fight, who is the second strongest Viking alive after his dead dad. Wait a sec. After his dead dad? Hold up. Okay, so he's the first strongest Viking alive. Like I said, status is subjective and changes depending on the era and what the community values. So respecting the traditions is extremely important in this setting, and disobeying these so-called rules could consequently stop you from entering Valhalla. That's like Viking heaven. It's a big deal. Thorfinn jumps through all the hoops time and time again to duel with 𝚑𝚏𝚏, and he doesn't complain or cry about it. He even passes up the opportunity to kill 𝚑𝚏𝚏 in his sleep. And through this process, he gets stronger and builds a reputation of one of the most dangerous warriors alive, to the point where even Thorkel is basically half chubbed at the opportunity to duel him. Okay, hold on to your seats here and listen closely, because I'm about to tell you the secret to achieving everything you ever wanted, and in turn, gaining status, respect, and prestige fame. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. Find out what is required and do what is required. I know, it's a lot to take in, so I'll give you a moment to process. Okay, that's enough. If you really want to boil it down, that's all it is. And fortunately for Thorfinn, what was expected of him was very simple. The transaction of casualties on the battlefield in return for the chance to duel the leader of the group. But yet the fact remains, when we see someone in our respective field passionately putting in the work to accomplish their goal, and we see the results start to pay off, we cannot help but to respect them. And that brings us to the final and possibly most lethal way of gaining respect, and that's the indifference mindset. Also known as the I don't give a fuck mindset. There's an old saying, the trick to winning an interview is not needing the job. What makes Thorfinn so damn likable is that he doesn't even want respect, and he couldn't care less whether he got it or not. The need for approval makes you invisible. If there's anything that holds us back from gaining status, it's when we design our lives with the purpose of pleasing others. It's like the more we value other people's opinions, the less we value our own inherent worth. At the end of the day, a person that lives authentically gets more respect than someone whose goal is to appease. That's because people are often attracted to those who are unapologetically themselves. But ironically, those people don't care much that people are attracted to them. So when Thorfinn recurrently challenges Askeladd or makes fun of Canute, two people who are way higher status than him, subsequently both of these people end up having great respect for him later on, partially because human nature is to pursue that which retreats. You ever notice when you like a girl and then when she starts showing desperate interest back, you're like, yeah, I'm good actually. So how can we avoid falling into this trap? If you're someone who is overly concerned with the opinions of others, try this simple exercise. Look terrible in public. Most people don't leave the house unless they look near perfect. But the point is to go out when you don't feel comfortable, but you will find that it is not as bad as you think, and there's no real danger involved. In turn, you will develop true confidence instead of just situational confidence when you look your best. But remember, this is just a practice. I don't recommend making this a habit of looking like shit all the time. You'll find a lot of strength in not conforming with others. You can see Thorfinn do this many times, like when he chose to chill on the boat instead of drinking and eating inside with the rest of the crew. The story of Thorfinn is a quite sad one, as it's tough to see a young boy so full of joy. Whoa, that rhymed. That was pretty cool. But to see him be turned into a cold-blooded killer and basically everything his father tried to teach him not to become. The story and growth of Thorfinn is not only an amazing one to watch and read, but also a realistic one. He is one of the most human characters in all of anime and manga, and honestly, seeing his development is as enjoyable as it is inspiring. Not only is the show extremely fun to watch because of the action and fights, it's also extremely deep in its storytelling and character growth. And with a protagonist that's a little badass ninja Wolverine, no episode left me feeling disappointed. One thing I bet you didn't know though is that there's a lot of different ways you can raise your status. And although the way that Thorfinn does, it is entertaining to watch, to me, it doesn't really seem that enjoyable. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but sleeping on a boat while everyone else has fun just doesn't seem that cool to me. If you're more of a laid-back type of person, you might find it easier to gain respect by actually being a source of comfort and joy to people. So if that sounds good to you, click this video where we talk about all the small ways you can put people at ease and always be the coolest person in the room. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you over at the next video.